what made you want to be a comic?
Other people, like inspiration, like people inspired me. Like I just think that making people laugh is probably one of the best things you can do. It's like the most satisfying thing. Like
I saw Stuart Lee do his 41st best stand-up comedian ever, and it's, I don't know. Do you know when you just get them moments when you some people see a band and some people stuff like that, and then just an epiphany, just thinking, I reckon I could do this.
What everyone else says when it comes to like comedy, like it is an attention thing. Is it like there's nothing that feels better than making a group of people laugh, because everyone sort of respects that. There's nothing like that. But yeah, I think it was, again, like I was a class clown. I just love performing. I just love sort of like being the centre of attention, and like, it's a nice thing to make people smile, make people laugh. It makes you feel good, and obviously it makes them feel good.
My teacher told me to get up and just talk about anything, and she kind of forced me, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, and then she gave me like a word, I think, like, and then she told me to do something based on a word, and I was like, oh, peanuts, and then I did this whole like 10-minute thing about peanuts, and everybody laughed, and then from then on, I was like, wow, this is fun.
It's something I've always saw on the telly that I thought I could do that, and that sounds too arrogant, but that's what I thought, and I've always not.
I think we're all in that.
Well, true, but it's just something that I wanted to try, and I thought there's no way better doing it than this. And now that I've tried it, I'm glad I did.
Not fitting in anywhere else. Yeah, because every year this the years that come up to this class are just a bunch of misfits, really. Like, that sounds horrible, but we are. So.
No offence taken.
No, but it's true. Like, we just come from all areas.
I remember really distinctly. It was like year 6, and I'd always been making jokes in class, like ever since like reception, like since birth. And I remember being in year 6, and the teacher saying comedian. And I went, "What's a comedian?" And she went, "Oh, it's someone that's just really funny for a living." And I went, "That's a job."
Mainly just, I've always felt like I've been an outcast. Being the class clown, you know, that's like being your own ethnic minority within a ethnic minority school, or majority.
I used to do it in class. Our teacher asked me to get up and do some role play, and I just make people laugh. Always loved it. There's nothing better than a live performance, so that really. And I hope the money's good.
It's just really fun to be stupid and not be serious all the time. I don't think I could have a job where I'm serious. It's just so much more fun to just take a piss.
I thought, right, okay, well I may as well apply for this comedy degree that I've found. Before that, I was thinking about doing a primary school teaching degree, which is the most stupid thing to kind of admit to when you've heard my stand-up. But yeah, for me it was desperation that I needed to do something, or a lot of people working in sales and marketing were likely to die.
Laurel and Hardy. That's a bit boring, but that's true. Just growing up watching them from such a young age, just yeah. I also thought watching them, I want to be a comedian.
I think particularly you just hear at school people want to go into geography and do politics, and it's just all so boring. And I think for the longest time the idea of your average 9 to 5. I just knew, me being me, I just couldn't sit down and be stuck in that proverbial office cubicle for the rest of my life.
I did actually want to do comedy, but it wasn't like the thing to do. Like, a girl going to comedy school wasn't really that normal, so I decided to go to acting school. But since I didn't get in, I finally got to do what I actually wanted to do. I didn't really tell anybody about it.
When I got to college, we used to set up our own little gigs in lunchtime, where about 5 people would come, and those 5 people were all people who wanted to have a go, so we all just used to perform to each other, and it was terrible, but it was just really, really fun to do, like, just with a small group.
But I've got a philosophy. I reckon all girls are like parking spaces. You spend the whole time going around the car park looking for a space, but then normally you get caught with a really tight, shitty one. With no view, just against the wall or something. You get me? Against the wall. Classy. Like my mum and dad's marriage. But just loving it. Or was you coughing? I don't know. Choking. But yeah, you normally go around, you have to settle for a really crappy one normally. But then sometimes you find a good spot, you're cruising in towards it, like, yes, yes, yes. And some dickhead with a better car comes in on it. Like, oh, for Christ's sake, then you just key it. On the box. If he keys mine, it's only a Peugeot 106, why do I have to care? Make it look better, wouldn't it? It's got race lines on it. Oh, look at that. But, yeah, when they take the good space, and then when you actually do find a good space, you pull it in, like, yes, it's even under a tree, look at that. And then you leave and you come back and it's been shat on. And then you can't really win. At the end of the day, you always just fit it into a nice disabled spot.
And if you could ask your comic idol a question, who would it be and what would it be?
It'd be Billy Connolly, and I would ask him to tell me the funniest joke he's ever heard.
I really want to meet Dawn French and ask her for a hug, because she looks like she'd give really good hugs.
It'd be Stuart Lee, and it'd be why aren't you returning my phone calls?
I did have a dream last night, actually, that me and Noel Fielding went shopping. Or, like, I was shopping and he was there. And, I don't know, I think I was so stumbled when I saw him. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to say. Do I talk to him? What do I do? And I think I just said something like, excuse me, I need to get to these shoes. And he went, gay? And then walked off, and I was so crushed.
Probably Victoria Wood. I like her. And probably just whether she finds it easier, or whether she finds it more rewarding to perform work, or to see her work being performed, because she does a lot of both.
To Eddie Izzard, because I think that he's a big inspiration because he really believes in himself. And so I just ask him, how did you get so much confidence, and how did you believe in yourself so much even though it's so difficult?
It would be Jim Jeffries and Can I Buy You a Pint?
Bill Hicks, and I'd say, what would I say to Bill Hicks? Fucking hell, there's probably a bit of paper that big with a fucking essay on it. But I'd probably ask him, I don't know, just say, do you fancy having a smoke with me?
I find it really hard to have comedy idols, especially since I started doing stand-up, because what I find is comedians that are completely different from me, I really like and I can enjoy them. But comedians that I used to like that are really similar to me, oh, I hate them, because whenever they do a joke, I'm like, oh, I could have done that joke, you know, because my style emulates the people I like, but the people I like are also in my little niche. That's my niche where I want to be, and sort of Noel Fielding's running around with his spandex on, doing his funny jokes, and I'm stood there going, but a man talks about science, and I'm like, that was poignant, that was lovely.
I would ask Tim Minchin why he went into comedy.
It would probably be Simon Amstel, because I'm really into his stuff at the moment.
Like Grandma's House?
Yeah, exactly, and because then if you watch it in comparison with the Buzzcocks when he's so like vicious and cheeky, and then you watch it with Grandma's House and he's so incredibly awkward and like vulnerable. So I'd probably ask him which is more true to his own self.
My comic idol, like, as in who I admire, like, sort of. But, like, my admirer would probably be like Lee Evans. Like, I love him just because he's physical as well, and I'd say he's kind of like me. And I'm not sure what to ask him, to be honest. Just like, how does he do it, really? Where does he get his ideas from?
No, but something along the lines of just sort of. Go on, could you give me a hand? Like, if they're that successful, they can obviously be quite helpful in the industry.
Well, who would you ask then?
Oh, probably Ricky Gervais.
I can't think of a single... I don't think I'd ever like to meet one, to be honest, actually. I would never want to meet... Just in case you're disappointed. Like, if you... Like, say I met, I don't know, Gervais or Merchant, and I asked them a question, like, and they'd, like, sort of were a bit off, that'd ruin it for me. Like, I don't need to ask them anything. I get enough enjoyment out of what they create anyway. I wouldn't want to meet an idol.
Yeah, well the thing is, one of my comedy idols is Tim Minchin, and I've spoken to him quite a lot, but I don't really know what I'd say to him. Just tell me everything about your life ever. Just fill me in.
I said, like, obviously my comedy changes quite a lot, what my tastes are, but I think my comedy idol will always be, has been for a very long time, Chris Morris. I wrote like Brass Eye, Day to Day.
Four Lions,
yeah, absolutely.
Adore that film.
Yeah, what would I ask him? I don't know. I went to a Q&A with him. I was at the premiere of Four Lions. It was a broadcast across the country to loads of different cinemas, and there was a video link Q&A, so everyone from across the country could ask some questions. And I had the opportunity, but I always really struggle with this. There's nothing I ever necessarily want to ask him. I'd like to have a chat with him, sort of gauge him as like a person and stuff like that, and just pick his brains on certain ideas, but I don't know. I think if I had to ask him one thing, it would be, how do you find the balance between what you want to write and what is necessarily saleable, like workable material? I think that's probably that's something I often think about.
Well, Stan Laurel then, and just any question, that is really difficult. What was it like being successful and writing and thinking up the ideas? How did you think it up? I just would have so many questions, it would just be endless.
But no, I think, yeah, I'd have to ask Steve Coogan, like, what it was, that how you created such an iconic and brilliant, like, British comedy character. That's what I'd have to ask him.
It would probably be Dave Allen, and it would be, tell me honestly, how did you really lose the finger? Because he told about 15, 20 different stories as to how he lost it, and I'd like to know how you really lost that finger.
I was playing pool last night. I've not really played before. And I went the first shot and I smashed the pool cue, and my phone saw me, Luke said, treat the cue like you would treat a woman. So I took it home and put it in the attic. Blake, how long have I done? Just 5. Well, he's going to go for another 5. I've run out of stuff. It's 7. Oh no. What was it? Slot machine. Should we have a go on the slot machine? Should we have... Will this reach? Yeah. Will it reach? Yeah, you're alright. Right. Oh, fucking Niall Edmonds.
Are you comfortable?
Yes.
In one word, how would you describe your comedy?
Unfinished.
Sorry, I'm not sure if this is going to work.
I
thought it would be quite funny. One word describing comedy.
And then the next question. Women have no place
actually, hold on.
in comedy.